welcome back to the ministry. And this is actually a song that was requested by one of you. I usually don't take requests when it comes down to songs. But the second I saw the comment, when I tell you I got chills all over my body, I was like, oh, God wants me to do that song too. Bet. And I listened to this song too. It was Fantasia's Believer. Now, it's been a while since I listened to this. There are about 3-4 songs from that album that I listened to. It is Believer, Take Off, Bad Girl, and there's one more song I cannot think of off the top of my head. But this one was one of them. And this song talks about, it starts off, said I've been dreaming. Yeah. A lot of us have been in a state, if we are real about how this entire journey and our walk with the Lord in relation to these kingdom marriages has made us feel. It felt like we got caught up in a daydream and never really left it. And we was kind of like, when are we going to step into the reality of this experience? Because I'm still in the dream state and I still haven't seen nothing in reality yet. Tell me a lie. I'm in the best mood right now. Some of us, the Lord has tried to bring joy into our hearts. But because of the fact that some of us, our circumstance has yet to change to match what the Lord has been spiritually telling us, we don't want to come into agreement with the spiritual space that we're in just yet, because of the fact that physically we haven't seen the transformation and we don't want to have a false start in it. So we have not allowed ourselves to come into the fullness of the best mood. We've allowed ourselves to have moments where we felt good, but not at our best. But we have been in that headspace that we've kind of been apathetic towards the whole situation. But somebody go ahead, ask me how. Some of us, and it's funny, I've been getting a couple different messages popping up on my screen on my phone talking about you about to testify, and people gonna want to ask you how you got there, about your testimony, what you did, about all of these kinds of things. When this thing begins to manifest in your natural life. And yeah, the word manifest belongs to the Lord first. I've got the king of my dreams, yeah. And I really do mean a king, or my king. A lot of us, and I'm going to come from a space of transparency here. Some of us have been through a lot, whether it be through men in our lives or relationships with men when we were in relationship. I only was ever in relationship with one guy. But the males that have come across my path in the years, they were never reflective of what I felt was kingly behavior of a man and what it should be in relationship with me. That it was always some form of a tug of war, whether it was parental, whether it was men. It was just, I didn't feel comfortable in relationship with them, or just utter disrespect. So dealing with that level of disrespect sometimes it can be hard, and this is one of the reasons why I would listen to this young woman called Wisdom Speaks Life. And she always talks about how these marriages are going to be a love that you've never felt or known, or so on and so forth. I'm not saying that these men are going to be perfect, because they aren't. They're still human, they're still God's child. But there's going to be work that needs to be in there. But you're going to figure out those kinks together, because God can heal you both to a level and degree and capacity that He feels is necessary. There's a 50-50 split in the kingdom of marriage journey groupings. There's one set of people that literally talk about, oh, hey, when you come into these marriages, that man ain't going to be completely healed, so you're still going to have to deal with their demons. There's that other half that God has already dealt with their demons. He pruned them, pressed them, dealt with, got everything out of them that needed to come out. And He's not going to send them to you before they're ready to be able to handle being in a relationship with you, so that they can protect you and y'all not at odds with one another or at enmity with one another because of the fact that he's still over here dealing with this, or he's still over here dealing with that. That actually is not what has been holding y'all up. What's been holding y'all up, I'm gonna be honest with you, I just keep getting these messages saying there's some crazy woman involved. Even when I try to avoid seeing these messages, they just keep coming back talking about it's a crazy woman involved. I'm like, that's on God to deal with that. I say what I have to say. I'm done with that. I done talk about counterfeits till my face then turned green, red, and every other color. I'm just over that. Okay? So where we at now? When this man actually comes, he's going to show you, oh, no. I'm actually a kingly figure. I just haven't had somebody that could actually stand to walk with me. Because what we have experienced with the men in our lives, they have experienced with the women in their lives, and they were like, I'm over it. So they were a little hesitant to come towards us, because they were like, I don't know, I'm not certain, is she safe? But God has shown us to them, and they know, and they made the decision to change because of what God has shown them from us. With that being said, where was I? See, I done played for a lifetime to connect with a spirit just like mine. These men, just as it states in the Word of God, you are His rib. I always love the fact that Tiffany Montgomery said this in one of her Covered by Gods. She said that you are His rib, meaning you are the person that covers this man's heart. The rib covers the man's heart. One of my main prayers, I say this over my dad, I say this over my spouse, to give him the love within his heart for any place that has had what is it, needs to be turned to flesh, anywhere that there was hardness of the heart, but that be filled with the power of love. Joy would be their strength. The loving kindness of God and His tender mercies within the heart, because we cover their heart. So with that being said, we are part of their spirit. We don't even know how much alike to this person that we already are, because we haven't been in relation to them, for those that have not been in relationship with their personal partner. But when God does this, he's going to show you the reason that you are his rib and the reason that you belong to him is because y'all so much alike, you don't even understand, and you won't understand until y'all together. How alike y'all are. So, with that being said, now I take the time to breathe with every moment. And it's funny, I saw a video from Shantia Jasia where she talked about live in this moment or exist within this moment. She just posted that video like yesterday. You need to live in this moment when it comes. Breathe it in. There are things, yes, y'all gonna have to talk about some things. There gonna be some revelations. There gonna be understandings. He gonna be explaining some things. There gonna be tears on both sides probably. Yeah. But don't get caught up in the confusion. See, the Lord had to get you both prepared to deal with what he's bringing you into. But when you come in, there's work that needs to be done. And you can't get caught up in your feelings and your emotions. And you can't be all... How many times I told you, go back and look at my word from before the end of the year where I talked about do not become the counterfeit over here. Because you let your emotions stab you up right in the heart. And when that happened, you went out here and turned into the whole counterfeit. Because your emotions took over you. You done went through all of this to get to this man, and then you gonna allow your emotions to shift your heart posture? Where we do that at? No. This man was created to walk with you. Don't start reflecting wrong hearts, wrong heart postures, because Satan will use that in order to create false evidence that appears real and try to push y'all apart. Don't give him ammunition. So with that being said, understand that you can breathe in this moment. Because it finally has happened for you. I'm staring at you in a daze. Some of you, when this actually happens, you won't be sitting there like, wait, you actually here? You gonna be like touching and feeling like, wait, you here? You hear him? I can touch you? I can put my hands on you? Don't put your hands too much. If y'all ain't married yet, don't. You know what I'm talking about. But you here? We good? Is no longer me over here praying by myself? Is you here too? we together now? You in a daze because of that. I'm so amazed that you are here and you belong to me. And they will be saying the same about you. Oh, you a charmer, I love your armor. See, I said this before, and the Lord showed me something way back. And some of these men have been playing possum, and they have been covered in armor the whole daggone time. It looked to you like they weren't. It looked to you that because they had to keep up faces with the groupings of people that they were associated around because they weren't out of it yet. Think of a person on enemy territory. If we not just do the word, if you ain't seen the word on the engagement, that don't. It's coming. If you ain't seen it yet, it's coming. But you have been in a battle, but so have they. And in this element of their battle, they couldn't just. You take perfect example. You take a warrior or a person out in the war, military, army, what have you. They can't leave the battlefield. I was watching NCIS recently, and they were doing a battle test training session for the new agents, and the drill sergeant was giving them orders because they couldn't just come off of um the field to go answer phones and do all of this kind of stuff, even though it was a drill and it wasn't a real situation. You had to stay in that scenario until they got clearance to come out of it. These men were in assignments. They couldn't just come out of them because you praying, well, what's up with the, well, what's up with the, well, what's up with that? You were putting a little bit of stress on them. Sorry to say, yes, they needed to stress in order for them to get it together to be like, I gotta come out of this situation. And I gotta make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. But some of them were like in the middle of the field and they got spiritual shots being fired over their head. And they like, look, I can't come to you right now, but I am on the way. I just gotta get out this field of landmines and bullets going over my head. I'm coming. But I had to strategically get out of this. Anybody remember that scene in Bad Boys 2 where they were standing on the field of landmines and it was like, I can't step over here. Where's the landmine at? That's the type of situation some of your men's been in, and you've been distressing them in the spirit, and they've been like, I want to come, but I have landmines. Landmine, counterfeit. Landmine, friend is trying to trap them in something. Landmine, people that have come to them with false flattery or pretend opportunities in order to try to set them up. Landmine. And they gotta still play possum like, I'm here with y'all, but I'm not. Coming back to the song. So they've been in the midst of a battle and their armor's been chinked and stuff. But I turn into a performer for you. They don't want you to be a performer. They want you to be real with them because they dealt with enough performers. I'm going to just throw that out there. You know that I will. Oh, I love the way you handle me. Oh, baby, got me weak in the knees, SWV. This love is going to weaken you because you have never had somebody treat you the way that this individual is going to treat you. You're just going to be like, oh my God, this man actually loves me. This man actually is like this is legit. Like, this is for real. And he is for real. And yeah, weak in the knees because it's like, oh, he's throwing all the stops out for this scenario. Thought it was unbelievable. Believable, but you made it believable. Thought it was unbelievable. You made me a believer. Made me a believer. And let me just pause right here. We have all said that we are believers in Christ, but for some of us, when it came to these kingdom marriages, this seemed like the most impossible thing for God to do, even though it says in His Word that this is but a light thing for me. But it seemed like it was a heavy thing because of how much warfare you've had coming against it. That warfare wasn't because of the fact that God wasn't going to give it to you. That war was because He already gave it to you and you had to fight to get to it because there are enemies that were saying, oh, hell no, we're not letting you do this. This easy. Not that easy. We going to fight you tooth and nail the whole way through. Because if we ever let you get together, that the anointing of your prayer coming into agreement with that man's prayer will break down walls and barriers unlike anything else that could be broken as quickly as it can be broken with the two of you in agreement. And enemy's like, oh, hell no. If y'all get together, you gonna screw everything that we got. You ever heard the old saying that when hell sees you, it gets upset? You done got up first thing in the morning, hell's mad. So can you imagine that a woman with a prayer life coming into agreement with a man that knows how to execute properly to the ordinance of God's will and can hear God, coming together in prayer in alignment spiritually, y'all gonna be dangerous. You think that he wants? You think the enemy wants that? This is why he's been fighting y'all. I know it. And you've been in a state where you came into belief, you came out of belief, then you was praying back to God, help my unbelief. I've been believing, but I don't know whether I can believe no more because it's done taking too long. And some of y'all, I love you enough to tell y'all, calm down. Some of y'all only been sitting in your weight for a year, 2 years, and you having a hissy fit. And those of us that have been standing in our way 5, 7 years are looking at you. Could you calm down? Just a little bit. Wait till you on our side of it. Because some of y'all couldn't, if you having a fit now, and it's only been a year or 2 years, I don't know how you would have made it for as long as some of us have been standing and waiting. 5, 7, and 8 on these things. I think this year would be my 9th year. Calming down. And I've heard stories from other women that have stood for kingdom marriage. God told them 9 years before they let that man come up in their life. When they saw that man where they saw him at, they was like, I don't even know how God could be telling me that this is my man. 9 years later, they married. But they had to stand in the gap for 9 years. Some of y'all would have had a heart attack if y'all had been told by the Lord, oh, you're going to have to stand about 9 years for that. That one. Some of y'all would have given up, jumped on the replacement bandwagon, jumped on the I'ma just entertain hanging out with who I want to hang out with until he show up. Got all caught up in them counterfeits. Spirit husbands that was just waiting on y'all. Moving back into the song. God had to help you with your unbelief. Thought it was unbelievable. But you made it believable. You made me believe. Although it was unbelievable, believable. You made me a believer. Made me a believer. You made me. Don't you mess up with that. Let me repeat that. Don't you mess up with that. Some of these men had the fullness of understanding that for all that you stood for these relationships, they better not come in here anyway but correct, because for what you stood for, though you did not have to, they have the fullness of understanding. Oh, I got somebody that's a real one over here. I ain't playing with her. I better not mess this up. Meaning no cheating, no lying, no... They're going to be loyal. They're going to be trust here. Otherwise, God wouldn't be sending them. And that's why he had to prune them and press them and do what he did to them while they were not in your presence. Because he needed to make sure. So they wouldn't get to you and start acting dumb. Because you ain't the one. Because it's one thing, and I always remember, it's a pastor, Kayon, I don't know what his name is. Dr. Kayon something. Sorry, last name starts from H. He said that you gonna miss me when I'm gone, because when I leave, I'm taking my prayers with me. For some of them, they like, oh no, I'm not gonna mess up with her because them prayers that she been praying, oh, they been hitting. And because they been hitting, like for real hitting, I'm gonna need not mess that up. Because I would hate to find out that she stopped praying and all hell started to come right back in my life because she stopped praying. Because there's people from my past ain't never even hit my prayer list. And if they come near my prayer list, it's because God pulled my chain that particular day and made me feel like I needed to pray for this person. Otherwise, they wasn't coming anywhere near where I pray at. You see what I'm saying? Not on my list. Not at all. I ain't even trying to think about you, bro. Okay? And are you sure you want me to pray for this individual? Because it may not quite be a good prayer for them. Oh, it's going to be in order. But it might not come out good for them. Because I'm going to pray what you done showed me. And for certain people, things that he showed me. So when it comes to your spouse, oh, I ain't going to mess up with her. Because I need her praying angry prayers like me. So, with that being said, my dreams are now real. Really loving the way you challenge me. These relationships will challenge you. Baby, I just cannot get enough. You love the challenge of y'all's relationship, and you can't get enough of the fact that this person challenges you in ways that actually invigorate and excite you instead of demean you and tear you down. You support my every emotion and you're giving me your devotion. You make me, I can't say that part. Figure it out. My females. Go look it up yourself. So let's just say with that whole section is about 3 lines. When y'all intimate with each other, you're well lubricated. Okay. And I keep having flashbacks, taking you through my shade. I'm having flashbacks, looking forward to that. That God is let you know, let some of us know that with these men that He's sending, you ain't never had it like you don't have it with these people. Okay? There ain't nobody that you ever gonna let be that close to you. Ever. Because of the way that this one is gonna handle you. Now, I take the time to breathe in every moment because I finally has happened for me. You're going to be so happy because all of the blessing of it has happened to you. You're going to be in a daze. I'm so amazed that you are here and belong to me. You are a charmer. I love your armor. I turned into a performer for you, and you know I will. Oh, I love the way you handle me. Oh, baby, got me weak in the knees. Daily, I'm a dreamer for you. You made me a believer. Yeah, you made me a believer. Yeah, you made me a believer. Daily, I'm a dreamer for you. And that repeats. And the verse repeats. So, yeah, you made them. They made you a believer and you made them a believer. And you actually made them a believer in God in a way that they never believed in God. So, I hope this blessed you. This video is at the end of itself. I can't fit too much more on here. So, wasn't there something I wanted to say though? Well, let's just piggyback on the fact that the intimacy is going to be real, and the fact that the Lord showed me when I was out earlier today, um, not just the proposals and engagement rings, but get ready to go because of the fact that some of you are going to have bittersweet goodbyes for where you are because God's about to take you to where He's going with these people, your spouse, and the fact that the last thing I saw before I left the store was a woman buying Pampers, and a call came over the store loudspeaker talking about the baby department. I'm gonna leave that right there. Figure it out. If you ain't figured it out, figure it out. You know what's up. Okay. You know where you about to end up. All right. Bye bye. That's all I had to say. I'm going to leave you with her. Bye bye.